Hi everybody and welcome to the October 2024 elections results announcement. My name is Will Hoskin. I'm part of the elections team here at BEDSSU. I'll be the one talking you through the results. But for now, I'm going to share my screen just so that you can see all the fun of the presentation that we've been working on. So welcome to the results announcement. So just a few little bits of information for you before we get going with the actual results. We had 4 part-time faculty officer positions that have been elected for the first time this year. So it was really exciting for us. It came through as part of the governance structures coming through our systems over the last year, with our reduction from 4 sabbatical officers down to 2, and then we made space for the 4 part-time faculty officers. So we're really excited about these roles. We also have 6 new network champion roles, of which 3 are being elected at the moment, and 14 candidates for the CATS part-time faculty officer role. Yes, that's right, 14 candidates. That's an amazing amount right there. So before I give you the actual results, we're just going to explain a little bit about how these elections work. So these are some of the results that you'll see. Down the left-hand side, we have the candidates and with their names, and then we have how many votes they have in that round. As you can see on the slide, there is a line that represents the election threshold. So this is the number of votes that are needed in order to win the election. And up at the top, we have the number of valid votes, which round it's in, and also the election threshold up there as well. So it's relatively simple. So in this example, candidate D has 9 votes, so they're currently in the lead. But because nobody has reached 16 votes, what we do is we move on to the next round, and in the next round, what you'll see is a number of candidates, candidate A, candidate C, candidate G, candidate H, and Ron, reopen nominations, were all removed. So their votes were then reallocated with their second choices. Unfortunately, 2 of the votes did not have any second choices, so the number of valid votes then drops down to 28. This means that only 15 votes are needed to be elected in this election. None of the candidates are at 15 votes. Candidate D's got a bit closer, but it's not quite there yet. So we can move on to another round. And in the third round, again, remove another candidate, and as you can see, the line drops again a little bit more because the valid votes has gone down to 26, meaning only need to get just more than half of the votes. So 13 is half the votes, so just more than that's 14 votes. And candidate D has been successful and got 14 votes. Congratulations, candidate D. You've won our faculty officer example. In each of our elections, we have reopen nominations. This is a candidate that students can vote for if they're not happy with the candidates or if they just want us to redo the nominations. If reopen nominations wins an election, we will rerun that full election, everything from the announcement all the way through to nominations opening for people to put themselves forward, as well as more hustings, voting, everything that we do for these elections, we will do again for that specific election. And we'll potentially talk about that if we need to a bit later on. So as you can see, candidate D has been elected with 14 votes. Hey, well done, candidate D. So the first election we're going to go into is the election for the BAME Network Champion, one of the reserves positions. Now, in this election, we have two candidates, Mariam and reopen nominations. Again, reopen nominations will be in each of our elections. So in the first round of voting, Mariam receives 4 votes, Ron receives 0 votes. The elections threshold is 3. So that means that Mariam is elected. Congratulations, Mariam. Well done to Mariam. You've been elected as our very first BAME Network Champion for a reserved spot. We look forward to working with you to making the most of the BAME network. Now onto our LGBT plus network champion reserved spot. And in this election, we have 2 candidates, Izzy and reopen nominations. So we had a valid vote of 2 votes. And due to that number, it means that the elections threshold is also 2. And in the first round, Izzy received 2 votes, Ron received 0 votes. That means that Izzy is elected. So congratulations, Izzy, our very first LGBT plus network champion reserved spot. We look forward to working with you to bolster the engagement of the LGBT plus network. The third role for today is the LGBT plus network champion unreserved spot. So this person would be working with Izzy again to be the champion of the network. So in this election, there was 2 candidates. We have Katie and reopen nominations. There was 1 valid vote, so the election threshold is 1. And in the first round, Katie Newell received 1 vote and reopen nominations received 0 votes. Therefore, Katie Newell is elected. Congratulations, Katie. So Izzy and Katie will be the 2 network champions for the LGBT plus network. We'll be again working with them to empower the LGBT plus network to go to great things here at BEDS. Next up, we have our Birmingham campus rep. So all Birmingham campus students were eligible to vote in this election. We have 2 candidates in this election, Bella and reopen nominations. Total of 6 valid votes. So the elections threshold is 4 full votes. So in the first round, Bella received 2 votes and Ron received 4 votes. This means that Ron has been elected. So we will be reopening the nominations. for this election, and we'll talk about that a little bit at the end. Congratulations, Ron. We look forward to running some elections again. Now moving on to the London Bridge campus rep. So we have two candidates for this election, Michael and reopen nominations. And there are 2 valid votes. So the election threshold is 2. And in the first round, Michael got 1 vote and Ron got 1 vote. Now, because of the way that our system works, it then means that there is a tie. So as there is a tie between the 2 candidates, the system has done a virtual coin flip to decide which candidate has won. And the winner is Michael. Congratulations, Michael. We look forward to working with you to make sure that the voices of all the London Bridge students are heard throughout everything that we do, and we can make sure we're supporting them in an effective manner. Now moving on to the part-time faculty officer roles. So the first one we're doing is the Education, English and Sport, or EES, part-time faculty officer. So in this election, there were 2 candidates. There was Clio and reopen nominations. We had 13 valid votes, so the elections threshold was 7. And in the first round, Clio received 9 votes and Ron received 4 votes. This means that Clio is elected as the Education, English and Sport faculty officer. Congratulations, Clio. We look forward to working with you. Up to 20 hours a week we'll be working with you. You'll be seeing lots of us and we'll be seeing lots of you. The next role is for the University of Bedfordshire Business School, or UBBS, part-time faculty officer. And in this election, there were 4 candidates, Aaron, Benedicta, Hamza, and reopen nominations. There were 256 valid votes. That requires an election threshold of 129 votes in order to win. And as you can see from the graphic, nobody reached 129 votes in the first round of voting. So this means that the lowest candidate will be dropped and their votes will be redistributed based on their second choices. As we go into the second round, you see Ron has been dropped and their votes were reallocated. But nobody has reached the 129 threshold. So let's go again. In the third round, we lost Aaron. Their votes were then reallocated. And we now have somebody over the 129. So with 136.05 votes, Benedicta has been elected. Congratulations, Benedicta. The second part of the 4-part part-time faculty officer team. Can't wait to do some training with you next week and get going in your role. Next up, we have the Health and Social Sciences, or HSS, part-time faculty officer role. And in this election, there were 4 candidates: Chloe, Lordana, Michael, and reopened nominations. And there were 73 valid votes in this election, requiring a elections threshold of 37 votes. And in the first round, nobody has reached the 37 mark. So again, we'll go to second round, removing the person with the candidate with the lowest amount. So that'll be Ron. So they get removed and their votes get reallocated. Again, the second round, still nobody hitting the magic number. So we'll move on to a third round. And in the third round, with Michael's votes being reallocated, Lordana has 46.21 votes, which reaches over the 37 vote mark. So Lordana is elected as the HSS faculty officer. Congratulations. Look forward to working with you. And again, I said we've got a couple of training days coming up that we'll talk to you about shortly, just so that we can make sure you're fully prepared and ready to go next week. The final election we're going to be talking about today and giving the results for is the Creative Arts, Technologies and Science, or CATS, part-time faculty officer. In this election, there were 13, that's right, 13 nominees. So they are Achiz, Ali, Aisha, Daniel, Danielle, Ghazi, Mariam, Amina, Mohammed, Prem, Swabia, Tanisha, and reopened nominations. Now, because there are so many people, this chart is going to look a little bit smaller, just so we could fit it all in. So there were 383 valid votes, which requires 192 votes to be cast for any one candidate in order for them to win. And as you can see, nobody has made that in the first round. So we do have Mamina at 72, Ali at 62, Aisha at 135, some of the front runners. But everything can change as we go through, as the votes are redistributed. So we'll move on now to the second round. So we've lost Ghazi there, and their votes have been redistributed. Still, nobody has reached the required mark. So moving on to the third round. This time we have lost Tanisha, and their votes are redistributed. Again, because the numbers are fairly small, they're not having a significant impact on the amount required for any candidates. So the fourth round. This time we've lost Prem. In the fifth round, fortunately we lost Swabia. Then we're moving on to the sixth round. In that sixth round, now we're starting to get to some interesting items. When people's votes are redistributed, they can come out as not full votes. So you will see some digital, some extra digits in there, some 0.6 and 0.2 for some votes, but all the votes are still whole votes in total, but some of them have been redistributed across different candidates, so they come in as decimals. Now moving on to round 7. There we go. And again, we're starting to get into the double digits, so we'll start to make some movement a bit more shortly. And in the 8th round, we've lost reopen nominations. Again, with their redistribution of their votes, everyone's moved up a little bit. Round 9. Again, at the moment, we have Aisha at 152 votes, Ali at 80 votes, and Mamina at 76 votes. They are the 3 leaders at the moment. So going on to round 10, we've lost Mariam. Moving on to round 11, we've lost Danielle. Now we're left with 3 people, 3 candidates. One of the candidates is very close to reaching the mark. So they're only 4.5 votes away from being able to earn that role. Unfortunately, that means we have to lose another candidate. So we'll be losing Ali this time. And their 93 votes will get redistributed. When they're redistributed, that means that Aisha has passed the mark. So Aisha gets elected in the 12th round. Congratulations, Aisha. You are the 4th quarter of the new part-time faculty officer team. We look forward to working with you. And here they all are. So we have Aisha, Cleo, Lordana, and Benedicta are your 4 part-time faculty officers, 1 for each of the faculties. We have 1 campus rep, Michael, for the London Bridge campus, and we're having to rerun the election for the Birmingham campus rep. We have 3 of our network champions. So we have Mariam for the BAME network, Izzy and Katie for the LGBT plus network. And here's everybody who's elected all on one screen. These are your newly elected student leaders. Congratulations to you all. Some good efforts put in. And we're looking forward to working with each of you over the coming year. We will be rerunning the Birmingham campus rep role, and along with that role, there are a number of other positions we'll be running elections for. So the Aylesbury campus rep role, that requires you to be an Aylesbury campus student to run for that. The Bedford campus rep role, that requires you to be a Bedford campus student to run for it. The Birmingham campus rep role, which requires you to be a Birmingham campus student to run. The Milton Keynes campus rep role, which again requires you to be a Milton Keynes campus student. The BAME network champion for a man or non-binary, that requires you to be part of the BAME network. And if you'd like to find out more about joining them, visit the BEDSSU website, bedssu.co.uk, and you can find out more on how to join the network there. And then we have the Students with Disabilities Network Champion for hidden disabilities, and the Students with Disabilities Network Champion for students with visible disabilities. So these are the roles that are going to be coming out shortly. The announcement will be on the website along with the rest of this article. And that was the results for the 2024 October elections. Just like to thank everybody who ran. It was an interesting elections, and we hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Thank you very much.